Today, I want to share with you how I've stopped absorbing my husband's emotions and why emotionally detaching has been one of the best things I've done for our relationship. I actually started doing this while we were dating. Don't get me wrong, I adore my husband, but learning to observe his emotions without letting them get the best of me has been so beneficial in making us stronger than ever. Hi, beautiful souls. Mireille Nicole here, relationship coach. If you ever felt overwhelmed by your partner's emotions or his moods, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about the most popular relationship topic on my YouTube channel, emotionally detaching with kindness, and why it's essential, how to begin observing instead of absorbing your partner's emotions. And I'll give you one thing you can start doing today. But first, what is emotional detachment? So emotional detachment in relationships, by my definition, is about finding that beautiful balance between caring and being empathetic while also being true to who you are and what you need and really being connected to your emotions. It's not about shutting down, ignoring your partner, or giving him the cold shoulder. It's not about being mad at him or punishing him in any way. It's also not about avoiding emotional conversations or connections together. It's about learning to let go of this need to control, to fix, or to be completely entangled in our partner's emotional world. I still want you to be attuned to your partner. In other words, you still get to recognize and respond to their emotional state, but I want you to be very intentional about it. I still want you to be interdependent with your partner, so you both still get to stand individually, and at the same time, you still get to choose to be committed to one another, to share your life together, obviously, right? And put in mutual or combined effort, whether that means emotionally, like we're going to talk about in this video today, or financially, or even domestically. But I don't want his bad mood in the morning to ruin your whole day, or his outburst during an argument leading to you making it mean something about you or your self-worth. By the way, I have a free emotional detachment cheat sheet with tools to help you take your first step towards emotional freedom. I'll put the link in the comments below if you haven't grabbed a copy yet. All right, let's talk about why it's essential for you to emotionally detach for a happy, healthy, and fulfilling relationship. Number one, for your mental well-being. Emotionally detaching in a kind and loving way enables you to stay in your power. We stop needing our partners to be okay or a certain way for us to feel good. There's a quote I absolutely love that goes something like, if you need other people to be a certain way for you to feel okay, then you're going to need to hire a psychologist for like everyone on this planet. Number two, so you can be a supportive partner and show up better in your relationship. And this also increases the emotional connection between you and your partner and the intimacy, because when you're emotionally detached, you can actually take a step back and listen with curiosity and help and actually understand him better and at a deeper level. It helps you notice what's going on with your partner and really know him, like I said, at the deepest, most intimate level. And that's going to bring you guys closer together because he's going to feel like you actually get him. Number three, we also get to learn and understand our own selves better. So this is for us too. It really helps us get clarity in terms of like what triggers us and what we specifically need instead of always being focused or enmeshed with our partner and only caring about what they need. Number four, why it's important, because our emotions impact all areas of our lives. So I'm always talking about it in the context of relationships, but it's going to help you like with your work and your family and everyone else. I worked with a woman whose husband in the morning would be, like grumpy, and they had a really different routine in the morning, and she would leave for work in a bad mood because of the whole vibe that was being created in the relationship in the morning. Like, imagine what it would have been like for her if her husband's mood didn't impact her so intensely, right? She could leave going to work in a better mood, and like imagine how differently she would be showing up for work. Okay, enough with the reasons. I'm sure that you have enough reasons to start working on your emotions and detaching in a loving way. So I'm going to share with you one of the first steps in breaking free from this pattern of reactivity in your relationship that's leading probably to strained connection with your partner and just not helping you be fulfilled in your love life. And And by the way, I use the word pattern here very intentionally because a lot of times our reactivity is simply like a repetitious response we've adopted and developed over time. And usually it comes from a lack of awareness or intentionality. And in fairness, usually it actually stems from some sort of trauma response or bad experience, whether it's in childhood or just growing up in life. So obviously there's a reason for this. It's not your fault. However, it does fall into a pattern at some point. So today I'm going to share with you a first step in breaking this pattern so that you can start responding and taking better care of your own emotional state for the benefit of you and also your relationship as a whole. And if you've been following me for a while now, you'll know that I'm a health nut, and science has proven that negative emotional states can significantly impact your health and physical well-being. So this topic is like incredibly near and dear and close to my heart and close to my values. So the key here is really to discover the power of taking a step back and observing your partner's emotions without absorbing them. So by observe, I mean you recognize your partner is having some sort of emotional state and you can look at it objectively. By not absorb, I mean you resist the urge to take it on as your own. You don't start feeling like it's taking over inside of your body. You practice staying in the logical part of your brain. And you can definitely feel the emotions at first. Like, I don't want you to, I don't want to be unrealistic here. I still feel my emotions at first. That's fine. I just don't want you to, go the other extreme and turn to stone, right? Our ability to feel as women is one of our superpowers. I talk about that in other videos. Before it starts flooding you, I want you to be able to let it dissipate and to bring yourself back to a more rational state. And you know what? At the end of the day, maybe you learn to live with both states. You can feel the emotion for as long as you choose to, but at the same time, you can respond calmly and objectively. Now, this sounds simple, but it does take time. I've been doing this work forever now, for as long as I can remember, right? For years and years. So I don't want you to put too much pressure of yourself. This is not about perfection. Small, consistent shift on a daily basis are your key to success. And I just want you to be able to pick yourself back up. If you do stumble and you do start ruminating over something, your partner's mood or him putting you in a bad mood for too long, don't worry. This is just a gradual process. You'll get better and better at it. And I just, like I said, want you to be able to pick yourself back up. So my guidance for today is going to be to turn this into a fun activity for yourself, or like a powerful game on this journey towards emotional detachment. So I'm going to invite you to go on Google and search for a list of emotions. This is something I get pretty much all the women who come into my world nowadays to do. And I want you to start getting really familiar and acquainted with the full range of human feelings and the different nuances that are out there, right? We always get stuck in, or we often get stuck into the mad, sad, happy, those three big buckets. But I want you to really practice identifying what specifically could be going on, right? So instead of assuming that maybe your partner is mad, like start asking yourself, could he be annoyed or disappointed? And just this subtle distinction can totally transform how you perceive and respond to him. And this is a great way to help you snap out of any negative emotion or unproductive emotion yourself. And it's going to be more helpful than just telling yourself not to react, right? Like it's, hard to just let go of something when you don't have something new to replace it by. Who can just really at the snap of their fingers just say, okay, I'm not going to react. I don't know. Maybe there are some people out there, but that's not me as a highly sensitive person who I identify as an empath. And if you're listening to this, maybe you identify as an empath too. So instead of just removing this habit of reacting or just stopping yourself, I want you to replace it with another. And we're going to switch to the habit of not reacting. We're going to switch the habit of reacting to analyzing, right? And really, being curious and being kind of like an investigator to see what's going on, right? And eventually, when you get good at this, you can start asking your partner, I may be wrong, but it seems like, and then throw in that that very nuanced emotion that you found on that list that you Googled, right? Start really getting familiar with them and practicing on yourself too, right? The more you can practice on yourself, the better you'll be at identifying or guessing it in another person. So eventually you can start asking your partner, but that's usually a more advanced technique. And I cover this in my programs and my private work with women. Now, don't worry, I'm not trying to stop you from being an empath if you identify as an empath. Like I said, I totally am one myself, but the problem is many empaths absorb the emotions of others, which leads to exhaustion and burnout. And by learning emotional detachment, you can still sense and support your partner's feelings, but without it draining your energy. And that's the goal here. This is actually what makes a true empath, someone who can intuitively sense and validate others without it taking a toll on your health and well-being, especially. If this resonated with you today, don't forget to download my emotional detachment cheat sheet. It's free and it's designed to give you practical tools for staying calm, staying confident, and in control in your relationship. The link is in the description below. Remember, emotional detachment isn't about becoming distant. It's about becoming stronger, healthier, and more compassionate in your connection. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe to make sure that you get notified, and click that bell, that notification bell, so you can be notified whenever I put more content out on emotional detachment. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure to watch this video next.